Hello, mathematicians. I hope you're having a great week. This week we're going to talk about a few different ways that you might see percent change represented. You're going to do a great job. Let's dive right in. Remember that we learned the percent proportion, that the part over the whole is equal to the percent over 100. When we did percent change, we related that proportion. The part is the new amount. The whole is the original amount because that original amount represents 100%. So we can still use our proportion to solve percent change problems. To find a newer original amount, we'll take two steps. First, we'll find the new percent by adding to or subtracting from 100. If it's a percent decrease, we can subtract from 100%. If it's a percent increase, we can add to 100%. After that, we can use the percent proportion to solve. Let's do some examples together. Alex buys a pair of shoes for 30% off. The original price is $80. What is the sale price? First, let's think about what we know. We don't know the sale price or the new price. That's our unknown. What was the original price? The original price is $80. That's our whole. That's 100% of the original total. Now we need to find the percent. The pair of shoes is sold for 30% off. How could I find the new percent? I would need to subtract 30 from 100. So what is the new percent? The new percent is 70. 100 minus 30 is 70. Now we can set up our percent proportion. Remember that the new over the original is equal to the percent over 100. How would I write a proportion to solve for the sale price? I can plug in everything that I know. I know that the new amount is X, I don't know it. The original amount is 80. The percent is 70 over 100. Now I can cross multiply to solve. What's 80 times 70? It's 5,600. Remember that I can represent 100 times x as 100x. What next step should I take to solve for x? I need to divide by 100 to isolate the variable. What's 5,600 divided by 100? Well, it's 56. Here, the sale price is $56. Let's do another one together. Tyra goes out to dinner. After a 20% tip, the meal costs $96. What was the cost of the meal before the tip? Let's think about what we know. Does the $96 represent the new amount? The original amount? It represents the new amount. It's the cost after the tip has been added. I don't know the original price. Now I need to find the percent. How can I find the percent after a 20% tip? I need to add 100 plus 20. So what's the new percent? 100 plus 20 is 120. So the new percent is 120. How would I set up a proportion to solve this problem? 96 is the new amount, so that goes in the numerator, over x, my original, and that matches up with 120% over 100. Now we can cross multiply. What's 96 times 100? It's 9,600. And I can represent x times 120 as 120x. What next step should I take to solve this problem? I should divide both sides by 120 to get x by itself. What's 9,600 divided by 120? The answer is 80. The meal cost $80 before the tip. Now you try one. Marcus is trying to increase the number of miles he runs each week. He runs 25 miles the first week. He runs 40% more miles the second week. How many miles does he run the second week? Which of these shows the new amount, original amount, and percent that could be used to solve this problem? We don't know the new amount or the number of miles he runs after an increase. The original amount is the number of miles Marcus ran last week, or 25. The problem tells us that it's a 40% increase, so we need to add 100, our original percent, plus 40% more to find our new percent. Our new percent is 140. Now set up your proportion and solve. How many miles does Marcus run the second week? Marcus runs 35 miles in the second week. Take a moment to check your work with mine. Now you try this problem completely on your own. Jacqueline is trying to cut down on her screen time. She had 91 minutes of screen time this week. That's 35% less than her screen time last week. How many minutes of screen time did Jacqueline have last week? Find the new amount, the original amount, and the percent. Set up your proportion and solve. The correct answer is 140. Last week, Jacqueline had 140 minutes of screen time. Check your work with mine. This week, we'll also talk about how to find percent change. To find the percent change, first find the amount of change, or the difference between the new and the original. That's the part, and you can use the percent proportion to solve. Let's do an example. James bought a game on sale for $60. The original price was $75. What was the percent of the discount? So we need to find the part and the whole that we can use to solve for the percent change. Remember that the whole is our original price. What's the whole in this instance? What's the original price? It's $75. To find the part, we need to find the difference between the original price, $75, and the sale price, $60. How could we find that difference? We need to subtract 75 minus 60. What's the difference? What's 75 minus 60? It's 15. So the part is 15. Remember, we can use the proportion. Part over whole equals percent over 100. Which proportion shows how we could solve to find the percent of the discount? The part is 15, the whole is 75, and we're solving for the percent. So we can say that 15 over 75 is equal to x over 100. Now we can cross multiply to solve. What's 15 times 100? It's 1,500. What's 75 times x can be written as 75x? How can we solve this proportion? We can divide both sides by 75. What's 1,500 divided by 75? It's 20. The correct answer is 20. The discount was 20%. Let's do another one. Aaliyah bought dinner for her family. Before tip, the cost was $120. After tip, the cost was $144. What percent did Aaliyah tip? We know that we're going to be solving for the percent. What will be the part and the whole in our proportion? Here, the whole is 120 because that was the original cost of the meal before the tip. The part is the difference between the new and original amount. So when I subtract 144 minus 120, I get 24. How could I set up a proportion to solve for the percent change? 24 is the part, that's the numerator, over a denominator of 120. And that's going to be equal to my percent x over 100. Now we can solve with cross multiplication. 120 times x is 120x. What is 24 times 100? It's 2,400. Go ahead and solve with division to find what is the percent change. What is x? Well, if I divide both sides by 120, I find that the answer is 20. Again, the percent change was 20. Aaliyah added a 20% tip. Alexis read for 80 minutes last week. This week, she read for 136 minutes. What was her percent increase in minutes read? What will be the part and the whole that we will use to solve this problem? The whole is 80. That was the original amount of minutes that Alexis read last week before the increase. The part is 56. I need to find the difference between the new amount and original amount to solve for the percent increase. Go ahead and set up a proportion and solve it now. What was the percent increase in minutes that Alexis read? The correct answer is 70. Alexis increased her minutes read by 70%. Check your work with mine. Now you try one on your own. David took a test and answered 44 questions correctly. On his retake, he answered 77 questions correctly. What was the percent increase in questions correct? Find the part, the whole, to use to solve for the percent, set up a proportion, and solve. The correct answer is 75%. David increased the number of questions correct by 75%. Check your work with mine.